I'm going to show you some of the inbuilt tips and tricks that Web of Science has to help you to identify important literature in a field. So let's start with an all databases search for microplastics, which is obviously quite a trendy topic. So we've got 5,500 results, and obviously you're not going to read all of those, so we need to work out a way to maybe try to find which are the ones to read. So the first thing we've got here is, if you look at sort by, I've sorted these results by time cited. This is going to place the highly cited papers at the top and the papers with no citations at the bottom. And this works on the logic that if you're just starting to look at a field, maybe you want to read the ones with a lot of citations first, because we could assume that either they're really important or really key to a lot of the arguments, whether people are agreeing with them or not. So the top here is the Andrade paper here, which has got 2,000 citations. So let's go into this and look a bit more at references and how we can use references to expand what we're looking at. So let's imagine that we've read this paper and it's really useful. One thing you can do is, if you scroll down to the bottom of this field, you've got cited references. This is a list of all of the references that are used in the Andrade paper. So if the Andrade paper was useful, you might have read a couple of bits that you thought, oh, I hadn't thought about it in that way, or I hadn't thought about investigating in that field or that discipline before. Maybe I want to have another look at that. So if that's the case, you could go, okay, polyethylene, okay, let's go look at how that weathers in the environment. Oh, look, it's another Andrade paper. And then you could click on that, and that was published in 1990. This kind of thing possibly wouldn't be coming up in a microplastics search because it doesn't use the word microplastics. But you could use these references to go back in time to discover useful literature that might not actually be using some of the keywords you'd be expecting. We can also go forward in time. So if we look here, 1,900 of those citations are things that are in the Web of Science core collection. If we click on the number above time cited, this is now showing us a list of papers that have cited the Andrade paper. So all of these papers we're looking at now, in their references, in their bibliography, have got the Andrade paper we were just looking at. So this is going forward in time. So we can sort these again by date, time cited, usage count, etc. And this could again be pointing us towards newer papers that might be talking about related things or pushing it into different disciplines that we maybe didn't think of looking at. There's also a small button, if I go back to the Andrade paper, and it is just down here, View Related Records. So none of these papers are referenced by the Andrade paper, and none of these papers cite the Andrade paper. But what they do is they cite or are referenced by a paper that cites or references the Andrade paper. So I know that's a lot when I'm just saying it in words, but it's basically like removed by one from that citation. So let's say that maybe there's a paper that references the Andrade paper, and that paper also references one of these, but these do not reference the Andrade paper. So it's not a direct citation link, but it's maybe one or two steps removed. So this is again just kind of widening that citation network link to try to show you other potential papers that could be really useful in your research that maybe you hadn't thought to look at before.